Hi, and welcome to BeautiFLEX. Thank you for joining me on this hip opening stretching routine. In this workout, we will be focusing on gently opening up the hips laterally by targeting the inner thigh muscles, adductors, as well as the outside muscles of the hips and glutes, the deep lateral rotators. This hip opening routine is designed to help loosen up your hip joints, to alleviate your tight hips, free up your lower spinal area, increase flexibility, and ultimately to help you develop healthy and happy hips. We also will be stretching the legs in the half and full straddle position, which is an excellent way to begin working on your middle splits. This routine includes breath work to help you release your muscles and achieve a deeper stretch. We will also be working on awakening the nerves in your lower back and legs, which can be key in increasing flexibility and improving your range of motion and mobility. Essential to the success of this routine is to stretch gently and allow yourself to relax. There are two versions of this workout. This video has cueing so that you can get the most out of each stretch. Check in the description box below for the music-only version. Also, you'll find any precautions or contraindications in the description box below. Okay, with that, let's get started. Let's first start by connecting to our breath. I'm going to encourage nasal breathing only through your nose, and deep diaphragmatic breathing throughout this entire warm-up. Practicing these two types of breath work will help release the tension in your muscles so that you can relax into the stretch and get the most out of this stretching routine. So lying on your back, place a book or an exercise block on your belly. To encourage deep breathing, as you inhale through your nose, you should see your belly block book rise. As you exhale through your nose, allow the block to descend slowly. Make sure you fully exhale before taking in your next breath. This will not only help you to breathe deeply, but will help you to slow down your breath. Repeat. Now, see how light you can make your breath for the final few seconds. Okay, we're going to let our breath move us as we do our bridges. Inhale as you peel each vertebra off the ground one by one. Exhale as you slowly roll down vertebra by vertebra. Repeat slowly 4 more times. Now, let's turn to gently loosening our sockets with half hip rotations, 5 times in each direction. Starting with our right leg, holding your knee and ankle, gently move your leg externally from the midline. Initiate the movement from your hips. Now 5 times internally rotating your hip. Again, ensure that the movement is initiated from the hips, not the knee or the ankle. Now let's repeat on the left side. 5 times external hip rotations. Five times internal hip rotations. Now, let's stretch the outside of our hips and glutes. Place your right ankle above your left knee and place both hands behind your left thigh as you lift your left leg off the floor. Take this time to breathe deeply and focus on releasing the muscles on the outside of your hips and glutes. Now, let's repeat on the left side. Remember, use slow, deep breathing to help your stretch. And with each deep and slow breath through your nose, see if you can gently pull your legs closer to your chest. Good flexibility requires healthy nerves that glide freely through muscle tissues. With this nerve gliding exercise, we're going to focus on releasing our nerves in our legs and lower back region. So start by getting on all fours and extending your right leg to the side and begin gently sliding your right leg in and out 5 times. Initiate the movement from your core and use your abdominals to slide your legs. Starting on your 6th slide, arch your back and inhale as your leg slides out. Come back into neutral spine, exhaling as you bring your leg back in. Do this 5 times. Let's repeat on the left side. Remember to use your abdominals to initiate and guide the movement of your legs. Try inhaling as you extend the leg and exhaling as you pull it back in. Now add arching your back on the slide out and back to neutral spine as your leg glides back in. We will begin the stretching part of this routine with a seated hip adductor stretch, great for tight hips, as well as wonderful for stretching the inner thigh muscles, the adductors. To get into this stretch, bend your legs as you put the sole of your feet together away from your body. In this wide position, you will feel the stretch more on the outside of your legs. Lower your torso towards your feet with a flat back to a comfortable point. If your hips are very tight and you find this stretch too intense, try sitting on an exercise block or book or propping up your knees. Now you can increase this stretch by pulling the feet in closer to the body. Here you will feel the stretch in the inner thighs. You can also use your elbows to help lower your knees to the ground. Keep deep breathing to relax into this lovely stretch. We will be working in the half straddle position for the next series of stretches. This seated hip opener will nicely stretch the inner thighs and provide a gentle stretch to the hamstrings and calves. Now, let's work on loosening the hip in the socket even further. Extend your right leg to the side and keep your left leg bent. Use your right hand to gently roll your leg back and forth in the socket 8 times. For the next set of 8, you can continue to use your hands, or for an extra challenge, try to use your hip muscles to roll your leg back and forth. We're going to add a little spice to our half straddle by adding side bends, both dynamic, moving, and static, holding the pose. These side bends will not only increase the stretch in the hips and legs, but also in the torso. Now, let's work on warming up the torso and the side of the hips with dynamic side bends, 7 times on each side. As we move side to side, please keep your buttocks, both sit bones, firmly planted on the ground. Try not to hike your hip at any point. That way, you'll get a nice stretch right through your torso to the base of your hips. Now take your left arm overhead and bend towards your extended right leg. To intensify the stretch, anchor yourself by holding your knee with your right hand. Try not to hike or twist your hips as you side bend. Keep your hips grounded and facing front. Deep breathe into your rib cage and feel the nice stretch along the side of your torso down into your hips. Now let's stretch away from the leg. Take your right arm overhead and bend away from your right leg. To intensify the stretch, anchor yourself by holding your left foot with your left hand. Try not to hike or twist your hips as you side bend. You should feel a nice stretch from the base of your hips and alongside your torso, your obliques, and intercostal muscles. Continue to deep breathe into your rib cage and release with each breath to deepen your stretch. Side bend again toward your extended right leg. Deep breathe into your rib cage and release the muscles in your torso and your leg as you pull yourself gently towards your extended leg. For this hurdle stretch exercise, keep your hips facing front as you turn your torso towards your leg. Inch forward until you hit a comfortable stretching point. Gently lean forward, keeping your lower back straight for a nice stretch in your legs. You can choose to either point or flex your foot. Deep breathe and relax into the stretch. Okay, let's repeat this entire stretching sequence to the left, starting with loosening the left leg in the socket. Use your left hand to gently roll your leg back and forth in the hip socket 8 times. For the next set of 8, you can continue to use your hands, or for an extra challenge, try to use your hip muscles only to roll your leg back and forth. Now let's turn to our dynamic side bends. Remember, don't hike your hips at any point, but keep your glutes firmly planted on the ground as you stretch side to side. Let your breath move you. Okay, take your right arm overhead and bend towards your extended left leg. Intensify the stretch by holding your knee with your left hand. Deep breathe and feel the stretch from the base of your hips and alongside your torso. Remember to keep your hips grounded and facing front. Now let's take that same stretch away from the leg. To intensify the stretch, hold your right foot with your right hand. Create space in your body by deep breathing and feel a nice stretch from the base of your hips to right alongside your torso, your obliques and intercostal muscles stretching. Release your muscles with each deep breath into your rib cage. Let's take a deeper side stretch to our left side. Remember to deep breathe into your rib cage to help release muscles in your torso and your legs. In this hurdle stretch to the left, keep your hips facing front as you turn your torso towards your leg. Gently lean forward with a straight back for a nice stretch in your leg. You can choose to either point or flex your foot. Deep breathe and relax into the stretch to see if you can get closer to your leg. Okay, we're going to bring it all together with a final wide straddle stretching sequence. Let us start with a side bend to the first side. Remember to breathe deeply to release your muscles. Okay, let's now turn our torso to the leg in a hurdle stretch. Keep hips facing forward and stretch with a long lower back. Let's move slowly through center to the second side, and let's start with a side bend. Keep deep breathing into your rib cage and relaxing into the stretch. Now turn your torso to the leg for the hurdle stretch. Keep hips facing forward. Stretch with a long lower back. Let's move to center for our final stretch. And let's just relax into that stretch. Breathe deep, breathe slow. Okay, we're done. Shake it out. Until next time, have a BeautiFLEX day.